Countries across the world are quietly finding ways to trade without the US dollar. And we're not just talking about rivals. Partners and allies alike are playing the long game, preparing for a world where leverage does not work the way it used to. This isn't about one country challenging the system. It's about many countries reducing their dependence on it. The last leader who tried to do this openly and alone didn't live to tell the tale. His name was Muammar Gaddafi. To understand why this matters, you have to understand something basic. When countries trade in dollars or euros, that money usually moves through Western banks. That gives the West leverage. They can freeze assets, block transactions, enforce sanctions, and pressure governments without firing a shot. That is not theory. That is how modern power works. But when countries trade directly in their own currencies or outside Western-controlled systems, that leverage weakens. No middleman, no off switch. Currency is not just money, it's control. And this isn't just China. Yes, China is building alternatives, settling trade in yuan and creating parallel systems. But it doesn't stop there. Russia now trades much of its energy outside the dollar. India is buying oil using rupees and regional currencies. Brazil and China are settling bilateral trade directly. Parts of the Middle East are openly discussing non-dollar energy sales. Even close US allies are exploring ways to reduce friction with dollar-dominated systems. This is not coordination, it's hedging. Countries are not trying to overthrow the system. They are trying to make sure they are not trapped inside it. This brings us to Libya. By the late 2000s, Gaddafi was not just ruling a country rich in oil. Libya also held billions in sovereign wealth and over 140 tons of gold. Gaddafi proposed something radical, a gold-backed African currency. Not tied to the dollar, not tied to the euro, backed by real resources. The plan was simple. African nations would sell oil and raw materials using this currency instead of Western money. If it worked, it would change everything. Sanctions would lose power. Financial pressure would weaken. Western institutions would lose their role as gatekeepers. But here is the part most people miss. Gaddafi was not challenging just one system. He was challenging financial control, political influence, and resource mediation all at the same time. And he wasn't doing it quietly. He pushed Pan-African unity, funded regional projects, and encouraged independence from Western institutions. One leader, one nation, one plan. No coalition, no redundancy. In 2011, protests broke out during the Arab Spring. What followed happened fast. NATO intervened, the government collapsed. Gaddafi was captured and killed. Libya did not become a democracy. It collapsed. Militias took over. Human trafficking routes expanded. It became a failed state that still has not recovered. Libya's gold wealth and regional influence disappeared with it. Here is the difference between then and now. Gaddafi tried to do alone what countries today are doing slowly, collectively and quietly. No single leader, no single announcement, no easy target. The dollar is not disappearing, but the leverage it once provided is being tested from multiple directions at once. History shows that when systems feel threatened, they respond not always immediately, but predictably. History does not repeat itself exactly, but power reacts the same way when the rules start to change. These aren't headlines yet. For now, they're the fault lines.